you for finding time away from your busy schedule to be with us here today. Sri Lanka, the pearl of Indian Ocean, is a paradise on earth. Today, with us the Honorable Minister, Tourism and Land, Mr. Harin Fernando, and his delegation representing tourism industry in Sri Lanka. On the other hand, we have tourism, travel and media sector representative of Italy, most prominently in northern Italy.
Un caloroso benvenuto a tutti voi e grazie per aver trovato il tempo in mezzo ai vostri impegni per essere qui con noi oggi. Lo Sri Lanka, la perla dell'Oceano Indiano, è un'isola paradisiaca sulla terra. Oggi abbiamo con noi l'onorevole Ministro del Turismo e del Territorio, Mr. Harin Fernando, e la sua delegazione in rappresentanza dell'industria del turismo dello Sri Lanka. Dall'altra parte sono qui presenti rappresentanti del settore turistico e dei media d'Italia, in particolare del nord Italia.
Consulate General hopes that this evening will facilitate a platform for our two parties, so discover the potential of mutual benefits we could derive by working together and feasible avenue to do so.
Il Consolato Generale si augura che questa serata possa diventare una piattaforma per le nostre due parti per scoprire il potenziale di vantaggi reciproci che potremmo trarre lavorando insieme e i possibili percorsi da seguire a tale fine.
I invite Ms. Dilani Vircon, Consul General, to welcome our distinguished guests.
Invito ora la signora Dilani Vircon, Console Generale, a dare il benvenuto ai nostri distinti ospiti.
Good evening, Honorable Minister, friends and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for honoring our very short notice invitation to this event. Sri Lanka, my beautiful island nation, has so much to offer as a tourist destination. Sri Lanka is not about one single thing, but she offers an assortment of everything. Sri Lanka is everyone's cup of tea, so to speak. It is a heaven for a history buff, a wildlife enthusiast, a nature lover, a thrill seeker, a beach bum, or a foodie. Again, it's the best place for wellness tourism, destination weddings, cultural tourism. Moreover, Sri Lanka is a romantic getaway for a couple, an enchanting honeymoon destination for newlyweds, a comprehensive package for a family holiday. It's a backpacker's dream as well as a luxurious upscale holiday destination. In short, Sri Lanka caters for everyone's dream holiday, whatever your requirements are. Let me not harp on the topic more, as the Honorable Minister of Tourism and his delegation is here to talk about the tourism industry of Sri Lanka. Of course, Sri Lanka has gone through many setbacks and obstacles in the recent past. As history as its witness, Sri Lanka is resilient enough to bounce back with a smile. With much efforts from all who have tirelessly contributed, Sri Lanka tourism started year 2023 at a high note with a record number of tourists visiting Sri Lanka in the month of January. All our efforts are to keep that momentum intact. For lovely people of Italy, Sri Lanka could be a second home, familiar yet different. Both countries are blessed with a beautiful nature. They are two nations equally proud of their historical heritage and archaeological treasures. They are citizens that thrive on bonhomie, happy-go-lucky, hospitable temperaments, just to name a few. I have no doubt that our Italian friends would not be happy choosing any other country as their holiday destination. And at the same time, I am sure we have a significant Sri Lankan community in northern Italy. I think that there is a great potential for them to invest in tourism industry in Sri Lanka. Let me thank you once again for being here today, and I seek your kind understanding on any inadvertent shortcomings considered to general is responsible for, as we had to arrange this within a very few days amongst time and other pressing constraints. Thank you.
Buonasera, grazie a tutti quanti di essere qui presenti questa sera. Siamo qui per parlare di un paese in particolare, il nostro, che è lo Sri Lanka. È un paese che racchiude una bellezza unica e inqualificabile. È un patrimonio di natura, storia, cultura, danze e musica. Quindi noi qua rappresentiamo quello. Purtroppo negli ultimi anni ci sono state delle sensazioni e delle attività non proprio bellissime all'interno dello Sri Lanka. Nonostante ciò, nel 2023 è stato il paese più votato e un numero maggiore di turisti sta entrando a visitare questo paese. Noi ne siamo super orgogliosi e vogliamo far sì che questo diventi una meta. È una meta che ha tutto, un piccolo paese, come la descriviamo noi, la lacrima dell'India, che ha tutto. È una perla e noi vogliamo conservarla. La console è riuscita a organizzare tutto in pochissimo tempo, a dare valore alle persone che abitano nel nord d'Italia, sempre dello Sri Lanka, e noi di questo ne siamo orgogliosi. Grazie.
Ayubovan, wishing you long life. Sri Lanka has over 2,000 years of a trading history with major powers around the world. It is today an important strategic partner for Europe and the rest of the world, presenting significant trade and investment opportunities in tourism, exports, services and education. Sri Lanka is gaining vast global recognition as it continues to emerge as one of the world's best tourist destinations, with accolades from various travel guides, travel magazines and travel websites. With many UNESCO heritage sites, beaches, wildlife parks and hill country resorts bottled up into a small space, Sri Lanka is undoubtedly one of the best holiday destinations waiting to be discovered and celebrated. Our island is blessed with many unique experiences. Many who set foot on the island had considered it a part of a divine existence. Our Ayurvedic retreats, meditation and natural wonders continues to heal the bodies and minds worn out with the cares of life. Spoil yourself in luxury star-class hotels, heritage bungalows or boutique hotels located around the island. Work remotely with a beautiful working backdrop of lush green mountains, coral reefs or powdery sand. Dwell in nature's cradle as you experience 3 of the finest 18-hole golf courses in Asia or take part in international sporting festivals around the island. Acclaimed author Arthur C. Clarke once said, "The island of Sri Lanka was a small universe and contained as many variations of culture, scenery and climate as some countries 12 times its size." Ever since the 1950s glory days of the silver screen, film producers and directors such as Don Boyd and Steven Spielberg have raved about how beauty, light and variety of the island of Sri Lanka make it a perfect outdoor film set. The island of Sri Lanka has also been the choice for a string of Hollywood A-listers who have visited this little wonder for travel and leisure. The island has 5 international airports and 9 domestic airports, giving air travelers a range of options for efficient connectivity. Sri Lanka is diverse, compact and authentic and has the highest density of waterfalls, plenty of water bodies and rivers. 33% of the island is forest, which includes 26 national parks. Sri Lanka, the nature's treasure chest, is home to one of the oldest civilizations in the world. Its prehistory consists of planned cities, magnificent palaces, and expansive man-made reservoirs, stunning temples and monasteries, green gardens, and hard-to-believe monuments and works of art. With nearly 1,600 kilometers of palm-fringed coastline baked to perfection surrounding the country, Sri Lanka is the ideal destination for beach bums worldwide. Each day on this island promises new experiences, discoveries and lifelong memories, perfect for the post-COVID bucket list traveler. Each place and each smile in Sri Lanka has a story to tell. We have so much to share with you. So come along to our island in paradise.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Honorable Harin Fernando, Minister of Tourism and Land, Sri Lanka, to address the gathering.
Ho il piacere di invitare l'onorevole Harin Fernando, Ministro di Turismo e Territorio dello Sri Lanka, a prendere parola.
Hi, good evening to all of you. First and foremost, let me apologize for the slight delay. I heard that there is a good soccer game that's going on in Milan today, probably the reason for the heavy traffic that we encountered. Madam, our Director, Consular General, Madam Dilani Virakol, her staff, dignitaries, and ladies and gentlemen. I won't make it a long speech, but I'll quickly try and make you understand why we are here. We were invited initially by the Italian government and Her Excellency the Ambassador in Sri Lanka for Italy was insisting that Sri Lanka takes part on this travel fair, and I'm absolutely delighted for her commitment and her perseverance which got us here, which we realize that we have lots of work to do in Italy. If you look at the numbers that currently is in Sri Lanka, or people who are traveling into Sri Lanka, Italy comes into the lowest bucket, and we need to see how we can improve this, because Italians and Sri Lankans, I feel, has a lot more understanding. They speak the language. I love the way the young girl translated Director General's, I keep calling her Director General, probably I should be making her Director General. Consular General, her speech, and it was quite fluent, and not that I understood Italian, but I knew what she said. She was very fluent with the language and how she handled it. So that's Sri Lankans for you. So Sri Lankans could honestly look forward to see loads of opportunity that is on our way when we look at tourism into Sri Lanka. As you all know, I was a member of the opposition. I was not on the government. I get criticized a lot for joining the government, but my honest opinion at that point was, if Sri Lanka did not rise up, we would have been in much worse situation. I know every Sri Lankan who are here has a deep feeling for Sri Lanka. But Sri Lanka is a beautiful place to see that it will crash and it will be melted away. But just like the Her Excellency, the Consular General said, Sri Lanka is a resilient nation. And I myself also set all my political differences aside, but I thought we needed to fix the tourism industry. When we did that, when I actually took over, even the last tourist, it was in last June, when the last tourist was leaving the country, all the airlines pulled out. There were many travel advisories saying not to go to Sri Lanka. They said people are dying in hunger. They said there is no electricity or fuel. But I'm glad to say Sri Lanka is booming in confidence within the last 6 months, and our numbers are back to normal. Emirates have even introduced the 4th flight per day to Sri Lanka. Qatar Airways is the same. What I did was no miracle. All what we did was we traveled into certain countries, started with UK, went to Paris, then went to Berlin, met the stakeholders, tried to give them confidence. One of our greatest challenges are the people from media who doesn't love Sri Lanka that much. They would keep on saying Sri Lanka is a place that is devastated and there's so much of issues and tourists should not go. But I will vouch you for one thing. Go to the beaches in Sri Lanka right now, you may not even find a sunbed. because it's that full of tourists coming into Sri Lanka. Soon the Chinese market will be open to Sri Lanka. They will have a massive amount of people coming into Sri Lanka because Sri Lankan Airlines will be flying to Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, as well as China Air, China Eastern. All of those airlines also will be calling to Sri Lanka. Swiss Air is flying to Sri Lanka, Air France is flying to Sri Lanka, Lufthansa is flying to Sri Lanka. So today's meetings, and thank you, I keep forgetting your name. Yes, okay. I didn't get it, but yes, that gentleman really helped from the outset. And we met NEOS, we met ITA, and the meetings were absolutely positive. And I'm quite happy to say that we are looking at starting an operation from Milan and Rome direct to Sri Lanka very soon. And that would be one of the best ways how we can get back the Italians to come into Sri Lanka. That's number one. And number two, I think the Consul General and the Ambassador in Rome will have lots of work to do to make sure Sri Lanka is out there as a destination for Italian travelers to travel. How do we do that? It's about awareness, number one. Number two is building the confidence. Most of the people are not confident to say that Sri Lanka is normal and open to the public. So therefore, it is all of your duty, all of the government employees' duty. It's my duty to facilitate, to make sure we change the mindset of the people to say Sri Lanka is open. We are now, all the main brands are opening up in Sri Lanka. Ritz-Carlton is there, Sheraton is there, Shangri-La has 2 hotels there. We have the Hilton, the Doubletree Hilton, the Hilton Conrad brand. We have Radisson Blu, we have the Courtyard Marriott, the Marriott. We have all those hotels open up, and all of them are doing well. See, those are challenges, but I'm quite certain 2018 was the best year for Sri Lanka, which we had 2.3 million of tourists. And I'm quite certain this year, my target was 1.5 million because we were recovering, but I'm quite certain we will reach up to close to 2 million, and 2024 will be our year where we will have high-end tourists and a different set of tourism that will take place in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is no longer that only the beach, the sea, the candy, or going to New Aurelia. We need to redefine, we need to see Sri Lanka differently. We will be launched in Singapore as a destination for scuba diving. And ADEX is going to feature a huge program in October, and you'll be surprised, Sri Lanka has 140 odd shipwrecks around our beautiful island coast. So people will be interested in going in. I mean, people compare us with Maldives, but Maldives is different and Sri Lankan beaches are different. I always say Sri Lankan beaches are more manly because you can surf on those beaches, the waves are stronger, the noise is better. Well, Maldives beaches are very shallow, very different, very beautiful. I would say very girly-like to see, very calm, calm sort of a country, but they're very expensive. Look at Sri Lanka. You bring your euros today, you can have one of the best holidays for the value of your money. I mean, you would never get it at anywhere else in the world. So Sri Lanka is not only the beach, we just are launching ourselves a thing called a Pico Trail, which starts from the Hantana mountain and goes up to Haputale, then to Alla, and it comes back to New Aurelia. It's an amazing hike for these youngsters who love hiking. It's done by the European Union. They spent 10 years of building this entire system. So you can do 4 days there, you come back, you go to the beach, you do some more other trips, maybe a 10-day trip, you come back to your cold country, you're on a computer, but you'll be dreaming of going and finishing your trail. So that's what we want to do. We don't want Sri Lanka to be a bucket list country where you go there like Bangkok or Singapore and then say, I've been there. No, Sri Lanka has something more to offer. Sri Lanka is a country where people are so hospitable and we always smile whatever problem we have. We're very good. One other suggestion I want to make, we know there are so many people who own houses who are living here, and those are not small houses. If you go to Maru, Venapur, that stretch, many of the Italian people who are living here has beautiful, luxury-looking villas, houses. I am suggesting we will work on a new plan. The concept of villas, the concept of Airbnb is huge in Sri Lanka. So we are going to launch an app probably on the first week of March, which is an end-to-end solution on security features, finding where to go, where to stay, accommodation, the reviews, everything will be on your platform, on your fingertips. So I do want the Consular General, we will start once I go back tomorrow, a strategy. Because most of the houses are closed down when they're here and nobody's using it, because Sri Lanka has only 40,000 rooms on the formal sector, and on the informal sector we have another 40,000. But think about it, you have these houses, now the trend is people sometimes don't like to be in hotels. We have Uber, we have enough and more food that you can get into their houses. Even it's an additional income for people who have built their houses in and who's residing in Rome or Verona or Florence or Milan. And trust me, those houses are not small houses. They've made their entire savings and are a fantastic house, and sometimes they're struggling here. So why not actually you help out, you give this house out, and that might be a very, very good opportunity, even to looking at improving that coastal line above Nigambo up to Alavata, Puttalam, that area. So it's just a suggestion. If you have your thoughts, you can tell me after our speeches and after this concludes on a networking session. Saying all of that, I'm very humble the way the Consul General, who she's very new here, there's loads of work for them because this is one of the most key cities which has more than 50,000 Sri Lankans. So the issues for this office must be not an easy task, but I am also burdening her, asking her to help tourism be revived. So the next time we come, I seriously want to have 2 big road shows, one in Milan, one in Rome, where we will have a delegation over 80 to 100 companies, hotels, tour operators, and we will have a B2B session, we will have events, we will invite all the top travel agents. It's like a travel mart only dedicated to Sri Lanka. We did that in India, that was a short-term goal. We went to Delhi, we went to Mumbai, we went to Hyderabad, Chennai, Cochin, Bangalore, and that's how we survived. The short term, everything was closed down. We ran to India, make sure we got them down. There are so many cruise ships that comes into Sri Lanka. Lots of things are happening. I could go on and on and on because I'm so passionately involved in this, and I believe we have taken the right road. But my sincere thing from all of you is let's get the word out of Sri Lanka in Italy, because we are the best people. 250,000 minimum Sri Lankans live in Italy. What a lot we can do here. Unfortunately, I'm very open. Sometimes it is we who criticize our own country, and we should not do that. Sri Lankans need to live. It's a beautiful country, and it is our duty to come out there, go to the travel agents, every citizen be an ambassador for Sri Lanka. Talk about Sri Lanka. Talk about how beautiful it is, how loving and how hospitable our Sri Lankan people are. We will change it in no time. I'm even relying on one of the very key people today. I tried to convince him for half an hour that Sri Lanka is normal, but he did not buy it. It is because of the stories that he hears from our own people. So we need to be more genuine about it. Let's leave the politics aside. You can't, I know even in Italy, governments keep changing every 6 months. That's not a good thing. In Sri Lanka also, that could happen. But let's not let the country suffer. Let Sri Lanka as a brand remain. Politicians come and go, but let's make sure that Sri Lanka remains strong every day. So on that note, I would like to end my speech, but I'm looking forward for a very big time with all of you together, and I want to thank the Italian government. My visit is not spent by the Sri Lankan people, it was spent by the Italian people. So I need to give honest appreciation to Her Excellency for getting me down. And Sri Lanka is also would like to support Rome in their bid for 2030 expo, which really will help the Sri Lankan community also, which is huge here, living, and the relationship should be built stronger as we move along. But let's start today. Let's think different. Let's get people to visit Sri Lanka. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Vorrei farvi un piccolo riassunto di questo discorso. Il ministro sostanzialmente ha fatto sì che lo Sri Lanka partecipasse al cosiddetto BIT. Okay. Lo Sri Lanka, insieme comunque all'ambasciatrice presente italiana sul suolo srilankese, ha voluto fortemente lo Sri Lanka all'interno della fiera, in quanto lo Sri Lanka è un paese diverso. È un paese piccolo ma che racchiude il mondo, quindi grazie anche all'ambasciatrice italiana e grazie anche al signor Gaetano, perché lei è, diciamo, lei fa parte di questo progetto, quindi grazie. E ci ritengo a sottolineare il fatto che lo Sri Lanka non è più visto come quel paese dove si può andare solamente al mare o a fare, diciamo, delle escursioni in punti storici. Lo Sri Lanka è un paese completamente diverso adesso, soprattutto adesso. Noi raccogliamo, a parte il fatto di essere in un punto centrale, il nostro paese raccoglie il turismo proveniente anche dalle Maldive. Esempio, non paragonateci alle Maldive, perché noi abbiamo il mare, ma il nostro mare è completamente diverso. Nel nostro mare è possibile fare surf, è possibile andare a fare kayak, è possibile andare a fare snorkeling, un sacco di attività diverse e anche entusiasmanti, quindi è una meta che può attrarre giovani ma allo stesso tempo gente grande, okay, ci tengo a dire. Lo Sri Lanka sta diventando, come ho detto prima, un posto importante in quanto ci sono un sacco di mercati che si stanno interessando. Ad esempio la Cina si sta interessando fortemente, la Emirates ha ripreso a interessarsi a far passare i vari voli. Ci teniamo a precisare il fatto che non è un paese pericoloso, ci si può andare, ci si può entrare senza problemi, il visto dura 6 mesi. Non ci sono più quelle tensioni di 6 mesi fa, in 6 mesi siamo riusciti a crescere in una maniera esponenziale, davvero grande, di questo ne siamo fieri, ma veramente tanto. Il nostro paese ha la capacità, come vi ho detto prima, di raccogliere tutto sostanzialmente, quindi potete fare, non so, dalla mattina a fare trekking in mezzo alle montagne, al pomeriggio vedervi la balena che passa in mezzo all'Oceano Indiano. Non credo che tanti paesi abbiano la fortuna di avere questa cosa qui, quindi noi ne siamo super orgogliosi. Siamo comunque un paese che raccoglie un sacco di diversità a livello culturale e nonostante ciò andiamo d'accordo. Diciamo che potete vederci qua dentro in stanza, siamo tutti diversi, non c'è uno che ha dei lineamenti uguali, però siamo tutti uguali, ci tramutiamo come fratelli e sorelle. Quindi in rappresentanza del turismo il nostro ministro sta cercando di promuoverlo e l'idea è quella di avere delle sedi a livello di aziende a Milano e Roma, questo perché la minoranza sul suolo italiano è davvero enorme. Ha citato 2 città principali che sono Vennap, adesso non mi ricordo esattamente l'altra, sono praticamente tutte case italiane. Quindi è un collegamento, è praticamente un ponte, quindi noi ne siamo orgogliosi, vogliamo semplicemente far crescere questa cosa qui e ringraziamo anche il popolo italiano perché ama la nostra cultura e la nostra storia quanto noi. Grazie.
Now I invite Mr. Tisum Jayasuriya, Chairman, Sri Lanka Convention Bureau, to share his knowledge and suggestions with you.
Invitiamo ora il signor Tisum Jayasuriya, presidente dell'ufficio convenzionale dello Sri Lanka, a condividere con noi le sue conoscenze e i suoi suggerimenti.
Agua, Honorable Minister, Tourism and Land, Mr. Harin Fernando, Consul General, Ms. Milan, dignitaries, industry members, and dear friends. When the Minister wanted me to give a small speech today, I was just wondering, because my job is to promote MICE, that's the job of the Convention Bureau, as you all know. MICE stands for Meetings, Incentives, Events, and Conventions. So I was just wondering, what should I talk about all the categories, or should I pick and choose few categories to talk about what we could offer and what is best for your market? So I believe incentive is one market that we can promote in Italy, and destination weddings and events. So, just to let you know a little bit about our functions, is that to facilitate if you have a big group, if you need to be introduced to any local DMCs or to get any approval from the government authorities, that's where we come in. You can always contact us, contact my team, and that we will help you. And if you need any event support, like if you have a group beyond 50 and above, we are always there to help you with financially support as well to make your event a success. So what we want to tell you today is actually the mice market has picked up tremendously. One thing we did 6 months ago when we took office was we went to India, we had a couple of road shows and we promoted Sri Lanka and we wanted to tell the world that Sri Lanka is open. So it has really worked well for us and our hotels are now ready to welcome your big groups, your events, your conferences. So all you need to remember is what you see on media is not what you see in Sri Lanka, as the Honorable Minister mentioned. So if you have the opportunity to promote your next event or your next destination wedding to Sri Lanka, please do so. And our doors are always welcome to your ground handlers to accommodate your request and to make sure that you have a seamless event in Sri Lanka. So that's what I wanted to convey today to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving the opportunity for us to be here today and coming and spending your time to listen to us and what we have to say. So we really appreciate it. Sri Lanka and Italy goes a long way back. So I'm pretty sure you guys will bounce back and help us have a long-term relationship and hope to see your guests soon in Sri Lanka. Take care anyway.
Il signore si occupa fondamentalmente di mais, è il business numero 1, il business del quale nei 6 mesi è cresciuto enormemente. Se dovete fare riferimento a conferenze o meetings, loro sono le persone da contattare. Inoltre c'è da dire che sempre tramite il mercato del mais hanno fatto il primo step passando tramite l'India, che comunque è un settore molto importante, è una delle economie importanti, e da quella ha dato il suo ingresso, quindi affidatevi a loro senza paura, sanno quello che fanno e per il resto niente. Grazie.
Sri Lanka is a story. A timeless tale of culture and wonder. Each new chapter as colorful as the last. Her pages boast of a 2,500-year-old heritage, intertwined with trails of myth and mystery. Sri Lanka is a popular Ramayana expedition site, attracting spiritual seekers from far and wide. She is filled with curiosity. It's a love story worth sharing. A journey worth making. A memory truly worth capturing. So go ahead. Dive into the deepest of depths. Conquer the highest peaks. It's the only gamble worth taking. Sri Lanka is a tale of historical preservation and futuristic innovation. From spiritual retreats to worldly indulgences. Here, everyone's a winner. A land so inviting. It's a sanctuary for everyone, far, far from home. So, come write your own story.
Mr. Marco Buemi is a photojournalist by profession. He has recently visited Sri Lanka and now ready to share his Sri Lankan experience with you.
Signor Marco Buemi è un giornalista fotografico di professione. Ha recentemente visitato lo Sri Lanka e ora è pronto a condividere con noi le sue esperienze.
So,
Good evening to everyone. Thank you for this invitation. Thank you for the consular, for the embassy, and for the Ministry of Tourism that was joining the media trip in December, actually my second one. I remember the first media trip I did was in 2019, and I arrived the day after the terror attack. And I tried to, for the first time in Sri Lanka, to give to the media, because before we were talking about media, a different idea and a different feeling about this country. Because usually when the media talk about a country that are in terror attacks or clash, protests, change of governments, crisis, they just focus on that and they take apart all the cultural aspects, all the diversity, all the differences. So always in my article, I write for L'Espresso, I write for Vanity Fair, and I work for the public Italian broadcasting TV Rai. I've been several times in Rai International to talk about Sri Lanka, giving a real wide perspective of the country, because the country is full of amazing things to see and to say also to the general public. So I want to show just a bit my trip, the last trip in December, so just 2 months ago. This is my arrival, and always the arrival is very nice in Sri Lanka because they welcome you. There is the Bureau of the Tourism that welcome you with the flowers, with the tea that is a typical product in Sri Lanka that is really good, and not many people know that the Sri Lanka tea is exported worldwide. So often we drink Sri Lankan tea, but we don't know that comes from Sri Lanka. So the next pictures is in Colombo. Is from the Lotus Tower that everyone knows. This tower is really in the middle of the city center. As you can see, there is a big new part. The city is developing quite much. And there is an arbor that has been building since I think 3-4 years. And will be, I think, ready in a couple of years. And the meaning of the arbor will be a really crucial point for all the Indian Ocean. So it's very important for the commercial routes through the Indian Ocean. So Sri Lanka will be really a crucial island in the middle of the ocean that will control a lot of the commerce around the Southeast Asia as well. The next one is about the city. The city is full of markets. If you put also the other pictures, the next one can tell a lot about the mix of the commercial part, but also the colonial part. You still have building to see. And Colombo is really interesting, full of energy actually. Since when I came, the 2019, and now that I arrived 2 months ago, I felt a new renovation in the city, and the city has changed a lot. A lot of restaurants, a lot of place to go out, all the seafront is full of shows, families that goes around with kids. So I always recommend in my articles and when I talk with the people that Sri Lanka is really a place for families. It's really safe and it's really comfortable to travel when you have small kids, because always when you have small kids you're worried about countries to visit because maybe you don't feel safe, the health system doesn't work, but I always felt that Sri Lanka is one of the countries where you can travel with your family. If you put another picture, this is Rai park. That is a really interesting park because you can find a lot of flora and fauna. But the typical things that you can see are elephants. Hundreds of elephants in a really small area, I can say. And you can see really getting together during also the season when there is the river and there is water there, and you will find a lot of them there. So for sure you have to take a tour there, and you have to visit the wildlife in Sri Lanka, because it's not only this park, you have a lot of parks also in the south part of the country. You have several parks to visit, and also this is recommended for families. This is a really interesting place where I was. I slept here. It's called Heritage Kandalama, that is made by Geoffrey Bawa. Geoffrey Bawa is an architect. He's really famous worldwide. And this is give you the sense of the connection between the architecture and the nature. If you visit this place, you will find, this connection. You know that here in Milan you have the vertical garden as well, but this was before the vertical garden. So this is the idea behind the vertical garden, and you will find really the context and the connection with the nature. So this is really a place. I'm going out with an article and a reportage about this on Vanity Fair really soon, I think next week, about this hotel and the connection and the sustainability that there is behind this hotel. Water, solar, all connected, okay? So no wasting. Next one. This is Polonnaruwa. That is one of the old capital city, together with Anuradhapura. And this is just to jump from, the environment to the culture and the history, and this is one of the few places where I felt that you can jump from different, environments, nature and cultural and religion, because this is really linked to religious place and all the capitals where there is a lot of history. Connected to these are the rice fields, just close to this area, and to the next one you can see how various and the variety of the Sri Lankan food. The Sri Lankan food is quite unique. I think it's a mix between India, Southeast Asia, and you have all these flowers, You can see this was a lunch, and it's incredible to see the variety of this lunch. 3 different kind of rices, and 1,000 dishes made by local products. So everything is fresh and local. And this is really the symbol I can see of the country. Now, seeing here, I had the chance to use the drone and to film also from outside. This is just a screenshot with the drone from outside, and this is really amazing also to hike up to the top of this symbolic place, but rich of energy, I think. And this was talking about the tea, the really important local product that is exported worldwide. Damro is a big industry of production of tea, and you can really enjoy the tea fields and the tastes of different quality of tea. And one unique thing, if you put the other picture, is to have the possibility with this train to go all the way along the tea fields. And this is, I think, something that you find only there, probably in the north part, Darjeeling in India. I saw something similar, but this is really something unique. This is the bridge of 9 arcs, called 9 arcs bridge because it has 9 arcs. And we stop here just to have the pictures. If you put the other one, that is symbolic picture, is me with a group that promote Sri Lanka. We had pictures from the drone as well, and there were articles talking about this in your magazines and newspaper about this promotion. I think I have the last pictures. Here, that's me, that's surfer down in Mirisa. We were talking before the minister was talking about a real nice place to surf. I'm a surfer, so I want just to book 2 days just to surf there in the south of the island. There are 2 parts where you can surf, in the south and in the east part. It depends of the season. You can go in the south or in the east side. And I think the surfers visitor are increasing quite much. One important thing to see is, and I met a lot of people, that digital nomads are putting this place on the list, really, because you have really everything. The cost of the life is quite low, so you can live there and work from there. The only thing that you should, improve are, of course, for the digital nomads, the connection, the Wi-Fi connection, but at the moment still work quite much, but it should be increase the power of this. I don't think you have it's finished, right? This. So this was the last picture. I think the south part of Sri Lanka is really interesting because it's a colonial part. It has roots from Dutch, Portuguese colonies, and the atmosphere is really special there. I think Sri Lanka has a big potential. I will be on RAI International in 2 weeks to talk 15 minutes internationally, so worldwide, about the country. And I will make a speech kind of like this, really enthusiastic about the country. Thank you to have me.
Concluding the event, now it's time us to test few Sri Lankan delicacies and to interact with each other. Thank you and good evening.
A conclusione dell'evento è giunto il momento di assaggiare alcune prelibatezze dello Sri Lanka e cogliere l'occasione per interagire tra di noi. Grazie e buona serata.
හඳු පිළින් ඇලදුලින් ගඟින් මදනලට මුසුව නිවහනට ඉබෙන දෙස බසරෙන්දි එතෙර හඬයි තුන නැනහෙල සිරිත කියයි වින්දනය මතින් ප්‍රඥාව වඩයි මේ එතෙර හඬයි මෙත සවන් පිනයි ඉතෙර ටීවී